The following is a presentation of iRacing on PTRTV. We'd like to thank all of our channel partners for their support. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and we hope you enjoy today's broadcast. Two down, one to go. After a thrilling finish in the Area 500, we saw a thrilling yet semi-controversial finish in the Truck Series race just 2 days ago. Well, today is time to finish off Speed Week's Florida State Builders Pro Series style as we wrap up our time here at the World Center of Racing. Welcome everybody to PTR TV for today's coverage of the Area Pro Series again here at Daytona. We're going to be doing a 95 lap race, and of course our Pro Series brought to you by Florida Estate Builders. Going to be myself, Corey Silva, in the booth and in the truck, and the man, the myth, the legend himself, Hunter Sleppy, out to help us here today, help me specifically with the calls. Hunter, I know it must have killed you to not be here for the big one, but absolutely happy to have you here. What are you looking forward to at Daytona in these now NOPES cars, as the acronym has it?
Yeah, what a weird acronym for that, but nonetheless, excited to be here for PTR TV and Area iRacing. Obviously, I wish I could have been there for the Area 500, but I'm looking forward to the Pro Series. They put on a good show as always, and I'm really interested in seeing, because we got a bunch of new faces in here, not just new drivers, but new teams as well. Coast to Coast taking over for David Weishart Racing, Juicy Spider Racing taking over for Furnace Racing, and then Swamp Motorsports replacing IRLC Motorsports. A lot of open drivers, both a lot of rookies, I should say, both open drivers and on teams, so should be a fun mix of drivers here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, and we do have a full field plus here, so currently 4 drivers will not be able to take time here at the Daytona International. They'll have to qualify, and of course we have our chartered entries as well, so the go and go homer list is at 4 right now. We'll keep an eye on that. But qualifying underway now. You see our predicted lap timer as we watched in Cup qualifying a few weeks ago is Joseph Swan, and here comes Sebastian Mayer in 49.98 for Beckner, and looking good for Mayer there. That M&M's-esque ride. 50.006 for Sebastian puts him in 6th.
Yeah, this is going to be like a rotating list of drivers throughout the next 2.5 minutes. This is not like Area 500 qualifying where it's one car at a time. You get 5 minutes, and then you're allowed time. You're allowed 1 lap. And if you mess up that lap, well, that's on you. Jeremy Miller skyrockets to the top of the chart. He won the truck race on Tuesday night, looking to go and win the Pro Series as well. Peyton Howell, familiar name for some, jumped up to 2nd. Brad Slaughter, he's an open car. He's jumped up to 4th. Here's Justin Opplinger in the 96 down the back.
Yep, of course, here at the backstretch Daytona, the super stretch, where we saw a lot of interesting moves. And that sponsor, though, Hunter, that sponsor there, Yarn Hub, not to be confused there, but as he crosses the stripe, who else do we have? Jake Nichols goes and runs a 92 identical lap to Peyton Howell. Of course, these laps are brought down to the 10,000th, although we don't see that extra digit here. Let's see what Justin can muster here. Looks pretty good. A 49.90 should put him in P8. Of course, we want to thank everyone for tuning in here to PTR TV. Hit that subscribe button if you have not done so here. Help us on our mission to 2,000 subscribers. And if you're watching on Twitch, consider subscribing to the Area iRacing Twitch. You can get double points. You can only spend $5 a month for that, and you can use those double points to get yourself some free merch from the new store that is updated, as well as your custom emotes. And of course, our cameras here today, brought to you by Whiplash Sim Cams. You can check those out if you like the views and angles that you see. Maybe you can replicate them at your house. Here's James Scioli. Let's see what he can do. A big name in this league. We always don't. We expect him to see up front. Didn't have good luck the other day. And a 49.907. Oh, P2. There you go.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see that as well. So he's been a part of 609 for a while, and then with Jake Nichols' team in Solar Flare Racing, but now he's a part of the Lucky Duck stable, so he's got the new number font on the 7. It's going to be a little bit before I get used to seeing that. And here's his teammate Philip Groner. Him, Jake Nichols, they were all a part of the 609 stable, and then they moved over to Lucky Duck Motorsports after 609 has chosen to go in a different direction. Jeremy Miller, Connor Horn still with the team, but they got Skylar Shackelford and Zach Carr. So it's going to be interesting seeing how those guys race against each other as qualifying comes to a close.
Of course, team affiliations here, team swapping, satellite teams, that'll all be something to watch. And something else that is important to watch, Hunter, is the actual car itself. And that sounds kind of silly to say, but of course we are only about maybe 2-3 weeks out from the most recent iRacing update. And that update did give some wholesale changes to the aerodynamic model here of this Nopes car, NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts car. And some of the aero tendencies of it, things that these drivers have never witnessed before, and it has been causing some drivers some problems.
David Weiser mentioned it, that these cars do not take pushes well, and that there could be some attrition tonight as far as that goes, so that will be something to keep an eye on. But in the past, we've already known that the Xfinity car has always been an issue. Shouldn't say an issue, but it's a little more harder to handle than the Cup car. Trucks are a bit loose as well, but these cars are about as loose as it can be. So on the exit of turn 2 and turn 4, I'm really going to look at turn 4. Those bumps wherever you're trying to get as much throttle down as possible on the straightaway. That's going to be key, because that could be the recipe for some wrecks we saw Monday and Tuesday.
Absolutely. Saw a lot of wrecks there, and even in the truck series saw some drivers having issues. That was a vehicle also that underwent some changes here. So we'll wait and see if we get a little bump in time. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. Just depends how things work out. Again, Whiplash Sim Cams right there, but also on the bottom right of your display, we'll just cycle through some of the sponsors that are a part here of the Area iRacing series. Go ahead, Rick's Hot Sauce. You can get the best hot sauces from South Florida. And you'll see shopareairacing.com. Big rebrand with the studio temporary there and doing the logo and whatnot, and the merch accordingly. It looks really, really nice. I won't use any of the cliche terms, but of course, check that out. You'll see pro tip pool builders and a couple others that you'll see cycle on through. And there goes the plane landing there. But this will be a day race, a very similar distance, Hunter, to what we ran on Monday. So this is not, for a lower series race. This is still pretty much going to be a full-size event. So patience will be the key.
Indeed, and we did get our DNQs. So we had 4 DNQs for the night, those being Nico Servideo, Josh Parrish, Steve Durham, and Ryan Swan. That one really kills me because he's a part of Sleppy Motorsports. That might ring a bell to some with my name, but had an unbelievable drive from him and Jacob Bell on the last lap to go from 13th to 2nd. Would like to thank Jacob Bell again for sacrificing his sins to get Swan that second place finish. He ultimately DNF'd, although he should have had a great finish for that. But unfortunate that he won't be a part of it. But interesting to note that his brother, Joseph Swan, he signed up as recent as within the last hour and has made the show. So that'll be something. We'll have a Swan in the field. It won't be Ryan, but it'll be his brother, Joseph, and we'll see how he fends for his first Xfinity start at Daytona.
Luckily, NASCAR is not watching. Otherwise, you just would have got a sponsor fine there. But yeah, we did have a couple drivers join late even on Tuesday, too. Namely, Chase Cabry there joined day of and all but won the race there. But again, that race ended in very interesting manner there. So this is something that we saw a lot of drivers have issue with. And I just saw somebody there at the top of the shot have issues as well. Saw Kwame Scott in the Cup race there spin out on the money time pit stop entering. So something that if they have not practiced, you can never practice the green flag entry too many times, whether it be entering high, entering low, and adjusting your brake points. Maybe not doing this.
No, it's a good excuse to have, though, if your steering wheel comes unglued, quote unquote. But I think we're done with the warm-up, and we're about to get ready for our starting lineup.
Absolutely. End of warm-up. We will head down trackside for that PTR TV and Central Mobile Homes starting lineup here from the World Center of Racing. Jeremy Miller, our winner the other day in the Truck Series race, he is going to replicate that performance and try to do that from the pole here today with Alan Elwood in P2. James Scioli going to roll off in third. Jake Nichols, Chesty, South Carolina there for Lucky Ducks. Yeah, Peyton Howell in fifth. Jake Fisher in the sixth spot with Coast to Coast. Seventh finds Philip Groner and Brad Slaughter. He was someone to watch out for on Tuesday night. And then you have David Weishart and Skylar Shackleford in 10th.
Indeed, as row 6 will have Zach Carr in 11th and Garrett Conrath in 12th, coming up from the trucks to the Pro Series. Justin Opplinger 13th, Sebastian Miller 14th, the number 83 for Swamp Motorsports, and then rolling on through in the 15th spot, we got Jonathan Evans, 16th, Justin Bolton. Keep an eye on him. He's an open car. He made the show, but he was pretty fast a season ago with a lot of top 5s and top 10s in his name. Travis Beckner and John Hall in the next row. And then 19th and 20th, we'll find Joshua Adams and DJ Stagner.
Zach Kerr, he is the Aussie. Zach Kerr, not Zach Carr. So close, you can't blame me on that one. But he'll be in 21st. Lucas Lodato in 22nd. 23rd finds Connor Horn there, who just tried to run the backstretch chicane, so to speak. Brian Mercurio, coast to coast in P24. Timmy Pacioli, the heartbreak, who missed the 500 there, being the pole sitter for so long. And then Forrest Smith in 26th. Sebastian Marin in 27th. Gotta love that car. Jonathan Taylor in 28th. And then rounding out our top 30, Kyle Taub and Drew Farnes.
And then the next one you'll see here, our Go Homers, Ben Pierce 31st, Ryan Housen 32nd, 33rd, AJ Stravato, Jared Skinner 34th. And then over here in 35th, there's Joseph Swan, and that's how close it was between him and Nico Servideo. By 2/1000ths of a second, Servideo did not make the field. Josh Parrish as well did not make the field. Donald Kite did. He's chartered with a team. And then in the next row, we'll have Jackson Hartman and Bryce Senesek.
And I guess we'll just roll on through here. Again, we had 47 entries, but not all of them took the grid here. And of course, Ryan Swan not making it. Steve Durham, Casey Lakatis there. We'll say his name properly at least once, and then we'll have fun with it after that. But that'll be our starting lineup here by, again, Central Mobile Homes. And as we come through here, were our race details here on the evening. 100% fuel load, 4 sets of tires. That will not be of much significance here at Daytona. Again, no backup cars, so you got to keep yourself in the game. No stages, an au naturel race, 3 green, white checkers if we need them.
Could be a fun one. I'm really interested in seeing how this blend of drivers will go. Alan Elwood, he hasn't raced in the Pro Series in a while in this Xfinity model car, but he's one of the best to ever do it. 9 wins and 62 starts, 39 top 5s, 43 top 10s. If he leads 1 lap tonight, he will eclipse 1,400 laps led in the Area Pro Series. So good thing to look at. Also, we got a new aero model, as mentioned earlier. It's going to be difficult trying to get bumps going, especially through the turns. Pit penalties are going to be crucial. You don't want to speed getting onto pit road if you have a green flag pit stop or overshooting your pit box. That's not going to be good either. And it's all about survival. We saw it Monday night. We saw it Tuesday night. You just got to get there at the very end. Doesn't matter where it's at. You could be on the white flag lap in 5th being fine, but if you come out turn 4 and you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, your race will go up in smoke.
Absolutely. You can't finish first if you don't first finish here. 95 laps is quite a long time here at Daytona. Got to get yourself to the end in one piece. Jeremy Miller trying to get 2 out of 3, trying to win another race here. One Tuesday. Can he win Thursday? He's going to find that answer out now. Green flag in the air for the Florida State Builders Pro Series. As we get up to speed here, entering turn number 1. Each lane seemingly pretty competitive here. Both running nose to nose here. Again, we'll see how the draft model comes into play. Will we go 3 wide, 100? They wasted 0 time going 3 wide on Tuesday night. I wonder if they'll replicate that. Seemingly so. Already see it in the back of the pack.
Yeah, someone's trying to do it on the outside lane there. It's a
95.
green car. It's Sebastian Marin, I believe, but there's a car to the inside of him blinking. There's another car. There's a few cars blinking from the mid-pack mark on back, but coming out turn 4, and here it is, the 1,400 lap lead in the career of Alan Elwood in the Pro Series. He'll lead that with help from Jake Nichols on the outside lane. Jeremy Miller still controlling that bottom lane. So he's got the 7 of Skyly pushing him. Elwood's going to drop down to the bottom. Jake Fisher in the 84 is behind Jake Nichols. So 2 Jakes leading away, and then Brad Slaughter, the 3rd car on the outside lane, rolling down the back.
Yeah, rolling on the back, and you can see that car to the outside. Jake Nichols maybe peeking for air, maybe peeking for a move, looking to see what is in the rear view mirror. Again, early in the race, there goes the 3rd lane again. We saw Marin trying to start it, but now some more instigation and some wall contact there. Who was that? That white car to the little bit further back. Trying to find who that was.
Looked like was it the corn hub machine?
Yeah, it was the white corn hub machine. Made some pretty tangible wall contact there. That was John Hall.
Yeah, it looked like he hit it pretty good in turn 3.
Let's see if there's any damage.
Not sure what, but that's
no, not clear. Luckily for him, I think that was Ben Pierce. Played nice to him here. Let's just watch that blend really quick. See, he's getting passed by Pacioli here. Now here's Ben Pierce. He saw the gap. He didn't want to go all the way to the back, and woohoo!
Yeah, those are not teammates, as you can tell. Powerhouse Racing for Ben Pierce, and then LVV Racing there for the other machine. As we are 3 wide now, multiple roads. You got Skylar Shackelford in the middle. This is just outside the top 10. It's still good fight up front. It actually had a lead change. Jake Fisher is now taking over as the leader. Jake Nichols up to 2nd. And then on that outside lane, the 2nd car in line, it's Peyton Howell in the 52. Elwood has dropped down to 4th. And then that outside lane is rolling. Philip Groner in the 11 coming through, and Justin Opplinger in the 96.
Yeah, that outside, you can see the pushing going on, and now, well, how long will it have to go? Right here, you can see going in the middle, now going to the bottom is Fisher. That will give Howell the run, but it also gives him the clean, fresh air into the radiator of that car, which is obviously super important. Got to watch those temps. We've seen guys blow up at untimely moments. Don't want to see that again. But who is that leader on the top there, 3rd lane? It is the number 26 of Jonathan Evans, I do believe it is, trying to lead that 3rd charge right above the 88 of Shackelford.
Yeah, Shackelford currently making that middle lane work for the most part, as he gets a little loose on exit. That's going to be key. The longer we go on the run, the more wear and tear we see on the tires, and that's going to create disaster, especially for the corner exit. Saw that there, and that's just after 5 laps. So imagine after 15 laps or so, we're going to see some more loose driving from the wear and tear on the tires. Meanwhile, Philip Groner has shuffled to the lead. He's leading on the bottom lane. Jake Fisher behind. He's going to go to the outside, and Groner's going to follow him. A little bit of a check up there on the outside, but for the most part, they get through A-OK. Nichols leading through on the bottom with Alan Elwood behind. Still in the top 5, still pushing his way through as Groner leads him into turn 1.
We've seen a lot of traffic cop duty played this week amongst all of the series. Dylan Alt used it to get a preseason win and was in haste to do it in the 500 until his race went a sour, but saw it a lot the other day too. Drivers trying to manipulate each side of the racetrack. Sometimes it works, sometimes the door gets shut on you hard. We saw that one significantly on Tuesday, but Jake Nichols going to the inside. Jeremy Miller, Tuesday night's winner, going to the top, and who does he have working behind him? That number 27 car of Travis Beckner, I think, is behind him, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it is. Beckner was a force on Tuesday night.
Yeah, and he's got Sebastian Marin coming up behind now. Marin running well in the Road to Pro standings. I believe he lost the points lead after the most recent one, but he is either 2nd or 1st. As far as I can tell from the Pro Series side of things. So he's currently behind us. We got a yellow out on lap number 7. Not sure what it's for, but there's some smoke and some cars shuffled around on the inside.
Jackson Hartman in the grass, Justin Bolton. And this was not in the main draft that I recall anyways. So we'll try to see what happened here.
Whoa. It's Connor Horn in the 67, looks like that was a part of it.
And Zach Kerr, I do hope that it was not any form of netcode here with our Australian friend here. He made contact to the back of the 3, and then, Connor Horn.
Yeah, right behind him it was the 83 Sebastian Miller, and oh my, we had a car turnover.
Yeah, we did. I think this camera will encompass most of it here. We'll just go from the top down. Watch the gold car, the number 3 checked up, and then you have Connor into the back of the 66, and then again somebody up and over. That was the 19 with the acrobatics.
Over that access row there on the inside of turns 1 and 2, so a big multi-car wreck.
That was Jackson Hartman
coming out on lap 7. Wow. Well, we hope he's done having his X Games fun, but for the most part, back half of the field collected in that one on lap number 7. I think we'll see our first round of pit stops tonight. Now, tire wear is going to be a concern, but it's about fuel as well. We've seen some overtime finishes in the past. Seasons 4 through... actually, seasons 3, 4, and 5 had overtime finishes. Late yellows have come out in season 6 and season 7. The last one was 15 to go from a season ago, but we usually average around 22 to go where the last yellow comes out, and you have to make sure you don't overslide your pit box, especially on the first pit stop of the season.
Absolutely. One thing we did see on Monday night was drivers, again, not worrying about the green-white checkers, under-fueling just to get to regulation, and that caused an issue. But obviously a lot of time before we have that concern. But pit road is a busy place. Hopefully it's not a point of concern. A lot of times when you have fuel-only stops and some tire stops, if that happens. I think that was one of the Hendry County cars just backing up into the stall. Might have been Beckner. And looks as though pit road will be a nice clean place. A little top off of fuel for the majority of these drivers. Didn't even burn that much, but just gets you that little extra. I mean, we haven't been given an exact number there, Hunter. I don't know if in your team owner affiliation, you know the exact number, but usually right around 40-ish laps tends to be the fuel on these tapered spacer restrictor plate style tracks.
Sounds like a good number to me. Still got a long ways to go, though, so they'll have to make at least one more pit stop, maybe 2. But there's a lot of cars that are sitting on pit road right now repairing damage. I think Zach Kerr, Jackson Hartman, Joseph Swan, among those that are in there. Connor Horn was in it. Looks like Sebastian Miller's out of pit road. I know he got a good piece of damage in there, but calamity strikes early, and those are the cars you see sitting there on pit road repairing damage.
Absolutely, because again, no backup car. Again, what we'd be interested to see, namely, is Hartman. Hartman did actually have to get a tow in right now, so that is an extended pit stop time. But we saw it the other day. It was actually Ryan Swan in the truck race who did a flip nearly to win. Got upside down, or at least on his door at the race. I want to say it was fully upside down, and ended up getting in a spot to nearly win the race until late race shenanigans and did him in there. So these composite bodies, sometimes they are a little stronger than to be expected here, but I do expect us to get 1 to green, and we'll see what happens here. Again, a 95 lap race. I was trying so hard, Hunter, to do 2.5 times 5 and then subtract that from 250, but I think it's about a 235 mile race. So again, this is not a sprint by any means.
237.5.
So close.
Just do the laps and then times the distance of the track, and that is the number you get. 237.5, and that's bare minimum. That's without any overtime shenanigans, which is always on the table, but I think we are getting the one to go this time by. So Philip Groner and Peyton Howell will be on the front row, with Opplinger behind in 3rd, Fisher in 4th. Some names that are still pretty noticeable inside the top 10. Jake Nichols is still in the top 5. Miller, we saw him work his way from the back. He's almost in the top 5 now. He's running 6th at the moment. Brad Slaughter, we saw him. He got a pretty good lap in qualifying as an open car, so he's in the field. He's that Lumar number 8 on the outside. He'll be restarting 7th. And then we mentioned Alan Elwood, over 1,400 laps led now in the Pro Series. He'll be restarting 8th. Skylar Shackelford, he was 3 wide in the middle for a good portion of that opening run. He's inside the top 10 now after his pit stop in 9th. And then James Scioli rounding out the top 10.
I saw Marin running on the apron there. I wasn't sure if he had something going on or if he's just trying to be out of the way to maybe tidy something up there in the rig or in the sim, but all seems to be fine. I mean, we had, I can't remember who it was the other day, but somebody was actually running the Le Mans chicane there under caution for the sake of entertainment. And I will say it was entertaining indeed. But Peyton Howell, Philip Groner on the front row with the pushes from Jake Fisher and Justin Opplinger, respectfully, in row number 2. Only 10 laps in, taking number 11, Hunter. Let's get ourselves ready for a restart.
Yeah, about a complete lap 10 here. When we cross the line, a pace car is going to make the hard left turn on the pit road again. Philip Groner is the control car. He'll have Opplinger behind, pushing Peyton Howell on the outside with Fisher going to be pushing him as well as the green flag flies once more from Daytona.
And it looks like the very primitive jump going to the inside lane there, but that doesn't always mean the full story there. The 52 of Howell looks like has a little bit more help there in the form of Jake Fisher as we wind ourselves up to speed. But here comes the 96 of Opplinger with the run. And we'll just wait to see who is going to be the first to get side by side in 3 wide. Looks like there's a little bit of a gap. We have 2 little mini packs, but those should rubber band together pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's pretty consistent with this car at Daytona. I mean, especially in real life, it seems like it's very realistic. Got a good job of that from iRacing there, as Senesak's going to bridge the gap there, that 09 on the outside lane, as the first 3, almost 4 cars on the outside lane are clear now to the inside. For some reason, Groner has not gone. Meanwhile, Peyton Howell has. Philip Groner's about to fall outside the top 5 here. Shackelford to his outside, but the first 5 cars now in the outside lane, clear to go low if they want to in turn 1.
22 of Josh Adams having some connectivity issues there. That will scare those around. Garrett Conrath just behind. Remember, he won the Truck Series championship last year. Then pulling out a line to the inside was Peyton Howell. I do believe has a little bit more steam down there now. We did see a lot of voluntary running on the top of the track. You know, pseudo old Dale Jr. line, Hunter. And it seems as though, again, they're not doing it by force. That is the voluntary line ripping the fence right now.
Well, for the most part, Shackelford is going to drop low beneath Brad Slaughter. Going to leave that line through. Try to on the bottom at least, but still about the first 3 cars or so that are leading through on the outside lane. And Travis Beckner has cracked the top 5 now. He's behind Brad Slaughter there. The 4th car on the outside lane. Josh Adams making his way towards the top 5 as well. The inside lane's having a big momentum push through the corners, but we'll see if they can propel enough on the outside, as Slaughter's actually trying to look through the middle. Got some shuffling going on as we ride on board the Jude Firenars.
Up 19, 20 spots on the day, as we do have, I believe that to be somebody up front. It's not a lap car yet. That is the number 84. We saw that the other day be very scary. Jake Fisher there stuck 3 wide, got pushed out, and now he will have to wait for the push from behind him, and that's going to be Jonathan Evans there. And that new Image Interiors Supra there. Now we are 3x3. Haven't seen that 3rd lane, Hunter, be that beneficial. It was very quick in the Cup race, was pretty quick in the trucks, but it doesn't seem to be the magic ticket. Doesn't help when you're in the wall.
Yeah, they're really bunching up. We're spinning in the back. It's Senesak in the 09 in front of the pack back there. Don't see the yellow flag out, but we have a lot of cars wrecked in the back, at least 3 or 4 from what I can see. Still no yellow out. I am not gasted. Oh, there we go. I was going to say I'm not gasted, I'm flabbergasted, but my flabbergasting has just it did what it needed to do there. But anyways, we're queuing up a replay right now. Bryce Senesak was the one who had the most lack there of entertainment in that wreck. Let's see what happened to Bryce. 29 in the wall, 29 in the wall again, stack up 23.
right into the back. That was Lucas Adota.
From how that started, I think Bryce Senesac made out okay. Didn't hit the outside wall, just banged into a couple cars, but unfortunate there, as that whole outside lane just seemed squirrely for some reason. Yeah.
Timmy Pacioli didn't seem to have a good bearing in that, or he did, but he did have some damage to be had. And yeah, there's a 66. Something's missing there. So back to live pictures, and that'll be our second caution here, lap number 15. Again, the lack of stability certainly has been a thing, and you saw that outside lane entirely was in the wall. I even saw David Weishart, you know, someone who has been a champion in area, very veteran iRacer himself across the board, and even him in the wall.
Yeah, not again, a lot of those guys, they pitted for fuel only, so I'm not sure if that's the tire wear that's playing a part of that or not, but very interesting to say the least. I'm not sure if we're going to see some guys come down pit road and probably opt for some tires. It is lap 15, but if tire wear is already that much of a concern for those on the outside lane, I mean, we saw a lot of cars hit the wall there, not just up front, but in the back as well. So pit road is open. We'll see if anyone wants to come down and put on some tires.
That will be our free pass here. That is Ryan Housden there. Just waiting for the cue. We'll get back on the lead lap. Be our 39th driver on the lead lap. Only drivers off. Connor Horn is off of the lead lap. You can see the right front damage there that I'm sure he will be coming to take heed to, and the rear damage there for that 609 Camaro. Jackson, remember, he was the one on his lid, and Zach Kerr, well, they still haven't managed to find the tire yet, so still have the majority of our field here and the majority of our field in the pits. Looks as though the 22 and the 60 of Chilcutt did stay out for what that is worth, so that will give them 7 laps less fuel in comparison to the rest of the guys.
Yeah, looking through a lot of guys, it's looking like they did gas and go again. Chilcutt, I will say, I think he actually has a set of tires on his car because he was in pit road for about 39 seconds. So he might be the only one with fresh tires, but we'll have to see. But him and Josh Adams, they stayed out, so going to make for an interesting restart.
Yeah, I mean, luckily this isn't a track like next week's race, which if you like what you see, again, subscribe here, both to YouTube and on Twitch if you are on that side, because next week we will have the trifecta of series, Cup, Truck, and the Florida State Builders Pro Series, all taking trend to the Homestead Miami Speedway, keeping our Florida season opener trend alive, and that's a place where tire wear will come in, and if you are someone who stays out in front of the field, well, the reaction might be slightly different. So stay tuned for that 1.5 miles. Hunter, a lot of drivers say that's the real start to the season, and that's kind of a big point of contingency because Daytona is a real track. It's one of the most famous tracks in oval racing, but when it comes to the meat and potatoes of who you're going to be battling with for the championship, heading to an intermediate, it's really going to telltale a lot next week.
Yeah, it'll be our good first look at guys and how they handle not only just the short run speed, but the long run speed as well, especially on 1.5 miles. Very banked, I believe 20 degrees in progressive banking at that track, so it's going to be very interesting. And then we go to Las Vegas for the third race of the season, so a couple 1.5 miles to kind of balance everything out before we get to our first road course in Portland, which never been to. I believe it's new to the iRacing scene, so a lot of excitement there for some of the road course guys, but that's for another time, as we have the one to go for this restart, that being Josh Adams, the 22, leading the way on the inside lane, Alex Chilcutt on the outside of that row. And then we had Jeremy Miller, who won the battle off pit road. He'll restart third, and the fourth is Brad Slaughter there, that 8 car on the outside lane. Peyton Howell will round out the top 5, and he'll be giving the shove to Jeremy Miller. And then Philip Groner on the outside will be giving the shove to Brad Slaughter.
All right, Hunter, so I'm going to ask you to put your driver hat on, and I know that's not something that you do, but because you're a team owner, but you've seen the 3 wide, the way that it's working. You know that it's early in the race. I think we're on 2 or 3 cautions thus far. Do you now still race the same way to get that track position, or are you being a little more cautious here, especially making that third lane happen?
I mean, you can be cautious all you want, but the first 2 yellows of the night, they've been wrecking in the back from mid-pack on, so it's a little bit of a chess game here. Are you better running up front and being more aggressive, or are you just cool with riding in the back and trying to stay out of the trouble, even though it seems like the trouble's happening back there? It's a fine line in between. We'll have to see what happens on this restart. I'm not really sure, because if I were a driver at this point, I'd be a little worried about, regardless of where I'm running, whether it's up front, middle, or in the back.
And that is just the name of Daytona here. And do have Ryan Housed in there in 38th with a black flag on the board. Not sure what that's for, but he will have to tend to it, I'm sure. But Adams here in the restart box on the inside. Alex Chilcutt to the outside. And let's go into that United Rentals restart zone and try to go green flag once more. I'll say that was a pretty good start, top to bottom there. But again, doesn't necessarily mean anything. What matters is the push from behind, and both lanes significantly disconnected.
Again, bunched back up through the middle of 1 and 2. Chilcutt on the outside, on board with Adams in the inside lane. He'll be leading through. There's a car on the outside lane trying to get going. I believe that's Sebastian Marin trying to get that third lane rolling, or he's just trying to opt towards the back. Either way, he's going nowhere, and he's going to have some help behind. I believe that's Zach Carr jumping up to the outside lane. Or no, that's John Hall actually jumping up.
And that was a wiggle from Marin there on the outside lane into turn number 3. Again, he's by himself, and Sebastian Marin, one of the highest rated drivers on the iRacing platform, getting a little loose up there. But just in front of him, Justin Oppliger trying to take that run off the top and see where it can head to. Right now, you have Chilcutt, the dominator, up front, running that middle lane with Slaughter and Groner behind.
And Chilcutt still minding his P's and Q's. Alan Elwood there in that 5. He's jumped up to the third lane. We're in cart with him. He's closing in on the top 5, trying to generate a run. You can see just how much of a difference it is between his lane and that third lane where Miller was, as now Philip Groner will be jumping up to the outside, and so will Brad Slaughter, looking like he's going to the lead. Chilcutt down on the bottom, so the Pied Piper himself, Brad Slaughter Jr., taken to the lead and looking like he'll lead a lap here at Daytona.
Yep, as again, we are ripping the top. If we're not 3 wide, the leaders are voluntarily running the top, and I'm wondering if that's aero, I'm wondering if that's handling. If you know in chat, again, let us know, as I don't have as much experience in this version of this car. But Jeremy Miller in the sucker hole there, and Drew Farnaz there. He has a PTRTV logo on the car, so naturally that's going to draw some attention there. He's in the middle there, and about 6 or 7 drivers, I didn't mean to say those two sequenced together, but run in the middle. But that top lane, chugga chugga choo choo, is going very strong right now. Kyle Tao very loose up there in that purple car.
Sebastian Marin jumped from top to bottom now. He's got a big run of steam heading through 3 and 4. It might take him to the lead this lap. I could be mistaken, but him and Chilcutt are working together, and now Philip Groner's going to jump low. He won't lead this lap. He might lead the next one. Slaughter still minding his business on the outside with Alan Elwood behind. Got the 96 of Justin Opplinger as well in that outside lane, but on the inside it's Philip Groner, it's Sebastian Marin, and Alex Chilcutt trying to give that lane an edge down the back.
Door to door here, that outside lane no longer taking advantage, but now it is a little bit of a run, that tandem style drafting. Elwood, pardon me, to Slaughter Jr. there. Now he has to pull out a line, get that air on the nose, and that will disconnect the cars, and that will separate the run and give Groner the edge with the push from Marin. And Marin takes it and goes high.
Wow, almost saw a bad block there from the 11 of Philip Groner, and he might lead that lap. No, I think Marin led it at the very last second, but that block almost created a big one in front of the field, and instead Sebastian Marin goes to the lead with Chilcutt on the outside, but Groner's flying back on the inside with Josh Adams pushing through. Opplinger has made his way down to the bottom, and Chilcutt now again a run from the back with Alan Elwood.
Got run from the back from Elwood, and there goes a push from Chilcutt into the back of Marin there to the outside with Elwood as well. And now Slaughter meet in the sandwich. Jeremy Miller, who's been up front, he's been in the top 10 all day, but he really hasn't been able to get through the top layer here. He's been kind of stuck there about 2 or 3 cars deep in line this entire race, and that is where he stands right now. You can see back of the pack, we do have a couple drivers separated. Lucas Lodoto, Ben Pierce, Forrest Smith about a second or so off, and hell, I don't blame them. We are 3 by 3 for about the entire field right now.
Yeah, Chilco looked like he was a little bit loose with pushing behind coming off turn 4 that last time through, but we'll have to see as some of these guys are still trying to mind their business. I say some are not. Adams going back to the lead with Opplinger pushing him from behind. The 11 of Groner is coming through on the bottom. He'll get the door slammed shut by Adams, and Elwood still trying to peek his nose outside on that third lane as Adams leads the field off turn 4.
Let's see, is he going to go top? No. Groner had to check up there. That push, again, that's what we were talking about. That push is not stable, and he almost hooked him there and had to back off because I thought that the 22 was going to try to go to the top, but not able to do so. Gives Opplinger the opportunity with Marin. Now, will Opplinger keep with his friend up there, or will he go to the bottom? I do believe he's clear. Now he's done.
Yeah, coming through in the middle, I see it's that 5 of Elwood. He had a nice run, but it's kind of stalled out now in between John Hall and the 07 of Gabe Herschel. But those other 2 lanes are starting to go forward. Middle lane is starting to be the lane you don't want to be in. As more and more cars are dissipating and shuffling towards the inside or outside lane.
So much slower here than we were in the other cars, even in the truck. I think we were about 195 solid right now, and you can see struggling to hit 190 right now. That's actually a little bit of a surprise to me. But oh, look at the push, the wiggle there, the instability from the 5 of Elwood there through the tri-oval. And speaking of lack of stability, oh, what?
Oh, wow.
Double wreck there.
Once again, that's happening in the middle of the pack, and that's the 3rd yellow of the night here on lap 25. And it's that middle lane that just couldn't get organized. They started stacking up, and then Shackelford was in the wall, and that kind of triggered this whole chaotic mess in turns 1 and 2 again.
Trying to find something to start this scene with here. I know I saw Pacioli involved to some capacity here as our replay stemming up. 88 in the wall, that kind of tidied up. The 88 in the wall, which slowed down Weishart, which slowed down a few others, but the 83 absolutely kamikaze defends Sebastian Miller. And that was completely ahead of everything else, too.
Yeah, that looked like a bit of bad luck there on the 83. Thinks he got through and then just right into the outside wall. I mean, absolutely did nothing wrong.
Scioli, but oh, Beckner may or may not have had a little kiss of contact there, but that'll put us under another caution flag here, 26 laps in.
Yeah, once again, that happened from the middle of the pack and in the middle of 1 and 2 again. So very interesting places of wrecks there, as we're about a third of the way through this one. Looking through, I think some of these guys are going to come down pit road again, make another splash and go. Josh Adams still leading the way through. Philip Groner, Opplinger. Garrett Conrath has now entered the top 5, if my scoring is correct, and Sebastian Marin rounding out the top 5.
Marin running on the flat there, which we saw that again in the Cup Series race there with drivers. They did it literally because they did fuel exactly to the right amount and didn't have enough to make it to the end. So, but he's just doing that. We'll see if anybody chooses to top off. Again, I don't know if they already have their fully extrapolated strategies, but of course the cautions are throwing all those into the wayside anyways. I think that was Chilcutt remaining on the racetrack along with Josh Adams. Well, pardon me, not Josh Adams, just Chilcutt. And everybody coming in, presumably for some fuel and I assume a lot of damage repair towards the back.
Yeah, one of these I think it was under the last yellow where we had Travis Beckner. He got spun coming out of his pit stall. Close call there. Yeah, I guess the model for whenever these guys are coming out of pit road and whenever they're entering their pit box kind of goes away. So at some point, someone got turned. That was Travis Beckner, but I'm not sure when it exactly goes away, where cars can just pass through one another. But looking through at the results of those coming out of pit road, Groner, Opplinger, Marin, Mercurio, and Peyton Howell, the top 5 in the race off pit road.
Absolutely. Yeah, there is kind of obviously the pit stall lane, the concrete pit stalls, those are invisible, but there is kind of a little bit of a buffer. As long as your part of your car is touching that stall, it kind of, you keep your invincibility until you completely disconnect with the stall. I believe that's how it works. But again, we ought just to kind of go over some other of the partners here. With area, Hendry County Motorsports Park is back, and racing is live on March 28th for 1,000 to win street stocks, thunder trucks, and more. Tickets are $20 for adults, with discounted prices for seniors, teens, and kids age 5 are free. Come see racing at the southernmost dirt track in Clewiston, Florida. US27HenryRacing.com. That ad read is so similar to last year, but different enough that it threw off my brain. But there's Travis Beckner trying to get some of that damage repaired, and you'll see him on the flag stand, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, hard to miss Travis Beckner at Hendry County. Chilcott's going to come down pit road now, sacrifice the lead. That'll give the lead right back to Philip Groner in the 11.
And then other partners we have, and I know there is an association with the Boss Band on this one. Blue Tip Pool Builders. Bring the pool to your backyard this summer with Blue Tip Pool Builders. Customize your pool to fit your unique style and aesthetic. Deliver skilled craftsmen, high cutting-edge technology, and to bring your pool to life. If you don't have a pool, they can also get your outside looking nice with dynamic lounging areas, outdoor kitchens, and more. BlueTipPools.com to make your backyard the place to be this summer. Told Dirt the other day, I'm not a swimmer, but I certainly love me a Pit Boss barbecue, and give me a TV outside so I can watch the race in a fire pit, and I'm sure they can help you out with that.
Indeed, as I've seen some of their products and their projects, I should say, not products, but their projects that they've been working on and finishing up recently, and it's been a phenomenal job that they've done. So go ahead and give them a call or check out their website for more info on that. But we're coming up on the restart here, nearing the lap 30 mark of this race, the Season 8 opener for the Florida Estate Builders Area Pro Series. Philip Groner is going to lead the way on the inside lane after Alex Chilcott sacrificed the lead. Opplinger will be restarting on the outside lane. Row 2, it'll be Sebastian Marin, Brian Mercurio. Don't think we've mentioned him at all today, but he's quietly made his way towards the top 5 after that last pit stop. And Peyton Howell will be 5th, and Gabe Herschel climbing up to 6th.
I will say that car looks pretty slick. That spec map on that car is certainly looking good under this slightly dimming sky here at Florida. We won't be going under the lights here today, hopefully. 6 o'clock virtual time here, so if we're going about an hour and a half longer, we will, but hopefully we can finish this up before the lights turn on. But we'll see what happens. Groner and Opplinger on the front row into the restart box once more. Outside lane, Opplinger sleeping there. Now that's a benefit and a curse to Groner, who is going to take advantage of him.
Looks like Marin's going to take full advantage of that as the first 2 cars are clear on the inside lane, and then it's a drag race for 3rd. A lot more stacked up on the outside lane than on the inside one. That's Peyton Howell will lead his way through, and Opplinger will be door to door. Opplinger is actually going to get the run down the back, or for the moment, those front 2 are pulled away pretty good, but now here comes Peyton Howell to close the gap.
Peyton Howell closing the gap in that 52, and then again, Josh Adams, he was up front for a few laps prior to this. You can see Jonathan Taylor being shown a black flag here, at least temporarily may have gone away. But anyways, up front you have the 3rd lane. Who is trying to lead that 3rd lane back there? It's a Hendry boy on that top of the racetrack. Let's make out that is the 49 of Conrad.
Yep. Is he in the wall? No, but he's flirting close to that wall. I mean, it's one way to rim right around Daytona. Him and Shackelford are the sole drivers there on the outside lane. really going nowhere. Him and Slaughter door-to-door back there outside the top 15. Meanwhile, up front is Sebastian Marin taking control of this race now, with Payano behind him pushing. Philip Groner in the 11 actually moving up to second now. They're door-to-door for position, as the 95 is in clear control of this race so far, as more cars are shuffling in and out between different lanes in the back, but Marin will lead this time through on lap 30.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of wiggle even for Marin to that 52, and I don't know if there's certain manufacturers that push better. I know some of the manufacturers, the Chevys, I believe, are some of the hardest to push if memory serves, but again, we've already seen some issues, but again, they've all kind of been 20th on back, and now our lead draft is a little bit shorter now. Our lead draft down to about 33 cars from a paltry 43, so... but who is that looking through the middle? Gabe Herschel, at least with a look in the middle, but does keep it in two wide formation, but not for the driver behind. John Hall could be for air. Thought he was going to make the move.
Yeah, 3 wide in the back there, right around the 15th spot. Slaughter is still working his way through in the middle, going nowhere really, but just kind of buying his time, trying to find a place in line, and it's looking like he'll just stay in the middle. I thought he would have jumped into the inside lane, but that's a fast-moving locomotive there. There is Weishart and Senesac. They were a part of some wrecks, but seems like they're A-OK. And I think that's Chilcott working his way on the bottom.
Now, we may have missed... I didn't recall seeing a black flag. Oh, he was black flagged for something on lap 27. Didn't make out what it was for. Must have been some kind of a pit-related penalty, but he had to serve it under green.
Well, he finds himself a lap down, but I believe he's the first one that's on the lead lap. So, the first one for the lucky dog, I should say. So I guess that's got good luck on his part for the most part, but first 4 cars, single file on the outside lane. That's Sebastian Marin, Peyton Howell, Justin Opplinger, and Brian Mercurio. Then 5th on back. They're door-to-door, some even 3 wide. Philip Groner and Jake Fisher shuffling that 5th position around as more guys are moving in and out of lanes in the back. Running on board here, right around the 23rd position, Diego Sainz, the Tokyo Jishun winner and Japan Cup winner. Very interesting there for Powerhouse Racing. He's playing his business back around the 20s.
That's it. I mean, me as the kind of sissy old man, that's exactly where I'd be running. It's close enough to where you're there, but far enough back that you could probably avoid. You have a second pack here, Jonathan Taylor leading this. Now, I don't know if there's damage leading this or if they just lost it naturally. Maybe it's a choice, but they're about, let's pull up the telemetry graphic on it and it'll show us how far they are off the lead. 1 second to the next position ahead. That's right at the edge, if not slightly outside of the draft range.
Not dangerously close, but it's not ideally where you want to be if this race does go green for a long period of time. And those cars have gone single file out. Meanwhile, Marin and Groner are door-to-door now for the lead. Still a couple of cars in the middle lane trying to work something through, but for the most part, it is Sebastian Marin coming through on the outside lane, Groner on the inside. And tell you what, staying out has paid off big for Josh Adams. He's been in the top 5 since his decision early on to stay out.
You know, as long as it... Well, let's just see Josh Adams. Yeah, he stayed out. He got everyone's basically on the same playing field now. So, you know, in the instance that this does have a long green stretch, you could estimate maybe 30, 32 more laps. So, but that would take us to about lap 60, 65. So before we even consider that, we have to get there first, which we have not done yet. Someone we haven't talked about yet, Casey Lakatos here. I saw that silver car peeping in the middle, and now I think he's going to be in the middle here because that is John Hall in the middle in the 09 of Senesac, who, remember, he was in a wreck, but that car is obviously amply repaired to the inside.
Yeah, him and David Weishart were a part of a couple of wrecks, but they have made the most of their repair time on pit road and have quietly been working their way towards the top 10. They're behind Garrett Conrad in the 49, so just outside the top 10. So we're looking at the 29 of David Weishart. Harry's on board that number 29 machine. So Him and Semisaks slowly creeping towards the front. There's the 77 of AJ Stravato. Don't think we've mentioned him all night too. Quietly inside the top 10, having a solid run. Speaking of solid runs, that 95 is looking solid, still in the lead. Sebastian Marin coming through, and he's got Payne Howell on his outside pushing, and Marin's kind of been blocking both lanes, leaning the outside, blocking the low line whenever Groner gets a run. So doing a fine job for the most part in that 95 car.
Absolutely, just doing a great job for the time being, and just trying to set himself up for the positioning for later in the race. And up front, again, Philip Groner and Marin. Now, we're kind of, I think we've kind of gained a little bit of stability here, and I'll say that, and I'll pause that thought, because now we're going to have to split Pacioli 3 wide. You can see he is running the modified version of his Nopes car. 2 laps down for Pacioli, and I imagine it would probably take another 5 to 7 minutes for them to put the hood back on that thing, so he is hoping for some caution that he's not involved in.
And it's looking like that other pack back there has lost a bit too much ground to where they are now running slower than, yeah, so we're second now. I think Kyle Taub is leading that lane, or he's a part of the second group, but they have lost the main draft from the main pack as Philip Groner now is losing more spots. He's hanging on to 5th by a thread. Jake Fisher, that 5th car on the outside lane, is coming through. Brian Mercurio, we've seen him in the 82 quietly go up to the top 5, and now up to the middle lane goes Philip Groner, reuniting with teammate Jake Nichols in the number 73. So good to see Jake Nichols running back inside the top 10 again. He's keeping a steady wheel in that middle lane as the outside lane of Sebastian Marin leading the way through.
And there it goes down to the bottom. 73 will clear the 22 of Adams and pulls back to the bottom. That does leave AJ Stravato stuck in the middle. As, again, Marin voluntarily running the top. I do think that Groner has a little bit of momentum surging. Will Marin decide to drop to the bottom, or will he stay up there with Howell? Survey says he will decide and leave the door open.
Ooh. Again, the bump from Howell coming out of turn 4. Going to pay big dividends at the moment, completing lap 39 this time through. Marin still leading the way, but Groner with Jake Nichols on the bottom, they've revitalized that inside lane. It's got more life to it now, and Groner's still coming through on the bottom, and now we see Marin go down and block the run from the number 11 machine, but now we will see the run coming down the back for Payne Howell in the 52, and Marin goes up to block that.
Yep, he is, again, doing that traffic cop move. So currently up to the top with Howell, and, you know, we're just not seeing the momentum. And this is kind of akin to what we used to see back in the real world, where the top becomes the dominant line. The inside, even with a lot of cars, just can't get going. And with this Nopes car being harder to handle, not a surprise that we're seeing what we're seeing. Groner had the run, but again, Marin, even if the top is the preferred lane there, Hunter, he is not playing games. He is taking the run from the bottom when he can.
Yeah, with Jake Nichols behind you, I mean, you might as well. It seems like Groner is comfortable when the 73 is pushing him, so it's keeping him an edge in front. Josh Adams in the 22, enjoying it in the third car on the inside lane. He's right around the 6th position, so 2x2 racing for the majority of the field. There's one car, I think, that was trying to make it 3 wide in the back, still is. I think it's one of those hub cars. I can't quite tell who, but it's right in front of the 8 of Brad Slaughter. That being the 24 of John Hall.
Taking a look, but again, no one's really seeming to want it, and I think that a lot of that has to do with just people seeing what we've dealt with here, what these cautions have been. Just as I say that, never mind, but he's in the middle. But I think drivers have seen the instability, they felt the instability, and it's just making that inside, that middle lane, just a lot more risky to run, and drivers don't want to take it as much at this point in the race.
Yeah, so one thing I'm noticing here throughout this pack, you mentioned that Weissarm and Senesac, they have moved up in the pack, and Zach Parr as well has moved up, and Slaughter did too. They had pit stops longer than 14 seconds, so my guess is that they took tires, and I mean, especially the 09 and the 29. They were involved in wrecks, so of course they're going to take time to repair damage, and not only that, but might as well switch the tires as well. So that might have a little part into how fast they're making their way through the field. They're on the cusp of re-entering the top 10. Both drivers on the inside lane, that being Lysar and Senesac, 29 and 09, but Marin's still leading the way here at Daytona.
Marin leading the race as he has been for a while. You can see him going to the bottom, going back to the top. Even, again, the inside lane hasn't been the strongest lane in this recent stint, but even when he has the opportunity, he stalls the lane out, goes to the bottom now, and that could be a little bit of just kind of co-opetition. He knows the 52 is a good pusher. Give him his air, let him cool down the radiator, go back to the top, get the surge.
Coming up on a lap car 2, so this is going to be even more interesting. They might catch him down the backstretch, though. Yeah, the 67 of Connor Horn caught up in one of the wrecks tonight. Has not had a decent showing so far, but he might pull off to the inside. I would hope so, but they're going to catch him at some point. Might be on the entry to turn 3, and it looks like he's committed to staying on that outside lane, so those on the outside will have to merge to the middle lane for the time being.
At least we're 2 wide, so we can fit 3 relatively easily. If we were 3 going to 4, we saw how that happened the other day, and it was not favorably. So they'll get by with relative ease. Again, just a little bit of a squeeze, but nothing of concern. That second pack should be able to make things happen as well. Talked about that second pack a little earlier, and they were, well, I can't follow that driver because he's having connection issues. But I can follow this driver, Lucas Licato. And they were about a second back before, and, well, I have to follow Kyle even though he's having issues. 2.5 seconds. And I think now he's going to the top. They realize he's having connection issues, and that's not the guy you want pushing your lane.
Now we got some more guys going in and out, 3 wide towards the back, couple rows for the time being. Sebastian Marin still leading the way through. Payne Howell was looking to the outside, but then tuck back in line. Gruner with Jake Nichols again. Everything has remained unchanged inside the top 10 for the most part. Had some shuffling going on towards the back part of that group, but for the most part, seems like everything is worked out, and we are closing in on halfway of this race.
Yeah, 95 divided by 2, would that be about 47.5, I do believe? So right around halfway, 1 car in the middle, and I was just going to make a statement, and Opplinger just made me eat the words before they came out of my mouth, so you guys will never know what those words were, but he pulled to the inside, maybe again just for air, I imagine. Somebody in the back, that's not for air, that's for opportunity. That is the 04 of DJ Stagner. First time we've said that name on air tonight.
Yeah, some drivers in the field, including myself, go way back with DJ Stagner from the Xbox days from years and years and years ago. A couple more drivers in the field as well, but have not mentioned his name so far. He's kept it pretty clean for the most part. We're nearing the halfway portion of this race, and he's just now making his way through the middle, trying to get closer to that top 10.
Buddy Brian's questionable ales. What indeed makes an ale questionable? As someone who's not a big ale person, I do not know. We are 4 wide for a brief moment there. They were 3 wide as Pacioli did go to the apron to let them get by easier.
It's a good question. Not sure what makes it questionable, but he is now the only car in that middle lane. Everybody else has cycled out towards the bottom or the outside lane. Now Slaughter has jumped down the middle. Someone else has jumped. I think it was Sean Hall jumping from bottom to top. So now it's a good 2x2 sequence for the field, as Marin will once again drop down to the bottom, block the run coming from the 11 of Philip Gruner. He'll jump back up to the outside lane and block the run from the 52 of Peyton Howell. Howell had 3 wins across his 29 starts in Season 7 of Erie competition between the Cup and the truck side of things. So making his presence felt early on. Brian Mercurio, part of the Coast to Coast Sim Racing team, and Coke driver as well. So keep a clean and open mind on that outside lane.
Yeah, and this is the time of the race there where this is where you kind of kill laps. I mean, sometimes we see killing laps here at a super speedway as single file, this is where, I think these drivers have kind of realized that, the race is not going to be won right now. We're not going to have a massive rainstorm, delay this race indefinitely. So we need to kill laps. We need to get to the pit stop. And as soon as I say that, every time somebody breaks the mold there, but just as quickly they move back in line.
Yeah, they're dropping down low again. Slaughter going to the middle again. It seems like we seem to have the same cycle over and over of guys moving up and down in the middle and 3 wide and in all that in between. But Marin leading through as we're past halfway now in the Season 8 opener from Daytona. It's the Area Pro Series presented by Florida State Builders. New graphics and new logo from the Studio Temporary for all 3 area series. So it's been a fun one so far. We had 3 yellows within the first 25 laps of the race, but since then it's been calm for the most part. Some side-by-side action, some 3 wide in between, but Sebastian Marin has kind of taken control of this race as he'll jump down to the bottom again. Would assume he's led the most laps up to this point, or if not, he's close to it, but he's got Philip Groner coming off turn 4 with a run, and he's going to look to the inside. 22, going to be 23 laps led for the 95 of Sebastian Marin.
I see that Lumar car to the outside, looking for a 3 wide, and again, first race of the season. I don't have all the paint schemes down in the memory bank yet, but that's Brad Slaughter working that 3rd lane. And we've seen that not work out well in most instances. Typically, the drivers in the 3rd lane have pancaked the fence, especially here in 3, where it is a little bit tighter of an entry. But that middle lane starting to fizzle out, so the outside becomes the middle now becomes the outside. And just as we go back. Now, Hunter, I know you've been with us for a whole season and a half, so to speak, but there's always something that we do here on PTR TV, and it's basically a guaranteed caution. And I hesitate to do it, but I think we're going to do it. And that is, we're going to do some temporarily loud engines. Well, we actually made it through a temporarily loud engines with no caution. That does not happen very often, but gave us a little bit of a break here to get ourselves wound up for what should be actually a series of green flag stops if all goes to plan within about 10 laps here. We're about 28 laps into our run here and estimating about 40 here on the day for a stint, give or take. That'll put us in the window to make it to the end of the race. Not missing anything up front. Marin still playing traffic cop for the race lead.
Yeah, a bit of the same going throughout the field, and especially up front, it's still Marin leading his way through. Peyton Howell and Justin Opplinger on the outside lane. In the inside lane, it's Philip Groner and Jake Nichols that have quietly worked together inside the top 5 for the most part of this run. And it's still 2x2 racing with the occasional Brad Slar going middle to outside, trying to make it 3 wide at some point in some sort of fashion, and it's gotten him inside the top 10, so that's working for him. A 29 of Weissart, he's worked his way inside the top 10. Him and Senesac are close to that top 10. They've been part of some of the wrecks tonight, but have kept an open mind and a clean car since lap 25, the most recent yellow of the race, and I believe that is again.
Yeah, I mean, he's only going, pull up our telemetry, about 167 miles an hour. So I just feel like that number just infiltrates into every possible situation here. But as we had some of the sponsors going on earlier, another one that we already kind of touched on, rickshotsauce.com, has some of the best hot sauces in South Florida. You could try Lokahatchee Classic, Golden Garlic, Palm Beach Pineapple, or South Beach Heat. If you follow us here on PTRTV on Monday nights for the Cup Series, you'll see who wins the $100 prize as the Area Cup Series Rookie of the Year, brought to you by said Rick's Hot Sauce. Check out rickshotsauce.com.
I feel like we're stuck, like the record player is scratched, and it's repeating the same thing over and over again. I'm seeing Marin go top to bottom through 1 and 2. I'm seeing him do it again in 3 and 4. I'm seeing Groner have a run to the inside lane. We're getting close to pit stops, I would assume so. These guys have to make at least one more pit stop for fuel.
But yeah, that's part of the reason. I just said it in our back-end production chat here. It's part of the reason we kind of do it temporarily loud is it does, and this is a good thing. This is actually a good thing. We are, as I said, we're buying laps here. We're killing laps. We're just chugging things through. We're not, making egregious moves, but, you can't do anything if you're wrecked out, how Pacioli is. So this is not going to sustain. At some point later in the race there, Hunter, someone's going to get a run, and that 95 is not going to be able to block it, and we're going to get ourselves up and at it. But that time is not now.
No, it is not, as Opplinger and Peyton Howell, both teammates for LVV Racing, finished 4th in the understandings a season ago. So making their way through with a good run so far for the most part, and not to mention Sebastian Marin leading the way through. He is the reserve driver for LVV Racing this season. So LVV affiliated cars leading the first 3 positions on the outside lane. Philip Groner is still with Jake Nichols, his Lucky Duck teammate, on the inside lane. They're trying to re-navigate his way towards the lead. It's just been a Marin machine that's been clogging up both inside and outside lanes. And then mention the 22 of Josh Adams. He stayed out under that first yellow as we're right on board with Scioli in the 7, the other Lucky Duck teammate for Groner and Nichols. But Josh Adams, we've mentioned him a good bit tonight. He stayed out under that first yellow, and he's been up front ever since. He's a part of the new Juicy Spider Racing team that was previously Furnace Racing, but him, Donald Kite, Jared Skinner, and Hunter Sr. have formed together a team, and right now he's the highest running car from that team.
He has, like you said, once he's got up there, I think he got up there at the perfect time, because that was when we've kind of fizzled out from the 3 wide through the field to everyone just kind of biding time to that 2 wide. And because of that, he has managed to keep that position on top of some great driving and good decision making. But again, this is that time where 34 laps in, we're going to start seeing these drivers have to pedal their way to their appropriate lanes. Who is going to draw first blood? Saw it the other day. We saw, I think, of like 3-car packs come in. Someone makes a mistake. Now you're down to a 2-car pack. Now you're losing a second a lap with worst draft, and that takes you out of the lead pack. So getting to the inside, working with your teammates, and executing the stop. This is what we talked about, and now it's game time for it.
Indeed, as was just about to touch up with the 82 of Brian Mercurio, but he's fallen in that middle lane outside the top 10 now. He is a part of the new Coast to Coast racing team, making a move from trucks up to the Pro Series, replacing David Weishart Racing. Jake Fisher's been up there a lot. Gabe Herschel was inside the top 10 at one point. He's in that second pack now behind. And Timmy Pacioli we've seen a couple of times in the modified version of his race car. And then up inside the top 10, we see Garrett Conrath in the number 49. He is part of Low Dollar Racing, that being the group with Bryce Senesac, David Weishart, and Alex Chilcutt. Chilcutt led a good bit of laps tonight, was up front too. Weishart and Senesac making their way back towards the top 10. And then DJ Stagner in the 04. He's cracked the top 10 a few times tonight. Currently 10th at the moment. He's a part of the new Swamp Motorsports team, replacing RRLC Motorsports. We saw his teammate Sebastian Miller get taken out in the last wreck. Absolutely nowhere to go. Jackson Harmon and Lucas Lodato, a part of the team as well. Lodato, I should say. But he's made his way. He's that 5th car on the outside lane in the 04 machine. So having a good run for the most part. Crossing lap 63, about to start lap 64, with Meriden still in the way at Daytona.
Up again, that 97 up there as well. Zach Carr, not the Aussie, that is Zach Kerr. He is the one who I called an Aussie about 5 times this week already, but he's up there in that 97 car. Again, right behind him is DJ Stagner, as you just referenced, giving the push to that 8 of Brad Slaughter. And you can see there that bright green car, and that's just what he's been doing for about, I'd say, 25 laps. And I actually saw some brakes there. I saw the front nose go down there. And up to the top is Marin. Let's see, down to the bottom, he's going to cut. Well, now he can't cut. Looks like the 11 has a little bit too much steam this time by. Most steam he's had in quite some time, as a matter of fact. And here we go. We look at 3 wide. Thought we were. Shut the door, did Marin.
Yeah, Slaughter went up and Peyton Howell through the block. Got a little tense there coming out of turn 4, but the 8 car, I think he's itching to get closer towards the front. He's itching to get something moving. I mean, we've seen him go in and out of the middle lane to the outside lane to the inside lane. He's the only one that really wanted to go 3 wide. He's methodically worked his way closer and closer towards that top 5. He's been inside the top 10 the last handful of laps or so, but the 8 of Brad Slaughter's itching to get his number 8 in some cleaner up front.
And I know in every basically league that I've ever covered, there's always somebody at these tracks who is the 3 wide guy. He's the guy that no matter what the condition is, that's going to be the guy to make the move. And I know that one to be Brad Slaughter here in area. He is not the person to stay in line. He is just itching and itching and itching to have that 3rd lane go, but he knows that he's not going to have the help. And especially now with pit stops right around the corner, it's not the time. But now the 52 of Howell has, I would say, the beneficial situation. Outside lane, they're going to blend up to get around Pacioli, but is the 52 going to pull off a Marin here and try to traffic cop the lead?
I think he's going to have to. The 8 of Slaughter's giving him good momentum coming out of the turn.
Whoa!
And
not gutsy enough for it.
He tried, but he just couldn't do that. Slaughter's giving him good runs, though. Him and Zach Carr have found the groove that gives the 52 an advantage, and now Marin has to... Whoa! Howell blocked, and now we got the 04 spinning coming on the pit road. A multiple car wreck coming through the tri-oval. Alan Elwood spins in the grass, and as far as green flag racing is concerned, it's still green, but that was a result of Peyton Howell blocking. Yeah, it was a bad block from Peyton Howell and the 52, the 8 of Brad Slaughter. We've seen this time and time again. Off turn 4.
Similar to what we saw in the Truck Series finish there, and that led the 04 all the way down to the inside. That caused a penalty going through the pit lane there for DJ, which is saying so many good things about him. But yes, we are still green. Algorithmically, iRacing takes a certain criteria to throw the yellow out. They won't do it manually here in area. And just one more look. Watch that 0-4. Oh, and then Garrett Conrad, like you said, just innocent bystander.
Yeah, nowhere to go and all that, and we are still green. However, the running order has shuffled a lot since that incident about a lap ago now, as guys are taking the time now to come through and make their pit stops.
Yeah, you can see there's Scioli, and there's a bunch of people, and in fact, almost everybody except 3 drivers, Farinas, Lakatos, and Stravato, everybody else in the pits. And, I mean, when we say everybody, we ain't kidding. This is everybody in the pits. Now, how will this all blend out is the million-dollar question. With this many people, you almost imagine it's almost guaranteed to rubber band together the way it happened originally.
So it looks like Groner and Nichols are the first 2, and then... No, that's Marin. Marin and Nichols are the first 2, and then Groner is behind Payne Howell.
Oh, no! 64!
Oh, my goodness!
And
that might bring out the yellow. That was up on a racing surface. I'm shocked that didn't bring out a yellow.
Yeah, that was Diego Sainz, and yes, that did bring out the yellow. That did bring out the yellow.
Wow.
That was also not on my bingo card here today as well. All right, DJ, what happened to... All right, Diego, where are you? Oh, no. I hope this isn't what I think it is. I hope this isn't what I think it is. All right, that's not what I thought it was going to be.
Wow.
I thought he was going to lose it on his own, but he tried to full yeet it and make a pass there on the blend line. Chilcutt there is that blue car. Yeah, that was not on my bingo card. And yeah, I'm trying to figure out what this is. Yeah, I'm actually kind of shocked.
So the only thing I can think of here is he's got no one behind him that's close, and he doesn't want to be the last car tailing the draft and the risk of losing said draft. So he gassed it up early, tried to clear himself in front of the Chilcutt. It didn't work out, and instead brings out the 4th yellow of the night. And now our running order is all mumbo-jumbo because we had pit stops going on. But it's going to bunch everyone back up, and it's going to build the excitement level and the anticipation of said restart. What's going on here?
We are trying to, again, the pace car situation was quite weird. Now, DJ Stagner was temporarily shown as the leader and is having to give back a lot of those spots. Not sure where he's going to blend to, and I'm also not sure where the pace car is right now, but I imagine somewhere here off of turn 4. Oh, where has my little pace car gone? Oh, where could it be? We are under caution. Here we
right
are.
Here. Holy cow.
So yes, this has been a very interesting way. I mean, we got through green flag stops. Well, I guess I don't even want to say that we got through green flag stops, but we got 92.6% through green flag stops. And again, the wreck happened at the most awkward time, but it'll bunch us together and it'll allow for those who had damage from various incidents to get those last minute repairs. You can get, it's quick pace laps here at Daytona. You could probably get 2.5 minutes done. Well, not quick pace laps. It's a quick pace lap situation. Only really one pit sequence. So you can get 2 minutes of damage repair. That should be enough to sustain a lot of drivers in the draft. What do we have here? We have 77 in. You can just see pit road is a super busy place with drivers needing those repairs.
Especially the 04. I mean, didn't look like he had too much damage, so I think he still has a possibility of having a good finish at the end of the day. Don't look too bad.
Still don't know why the ails are questionable.
On the pit sign, I guess.
Part of me wants to try a Minnie Mouse voice, but I will spare everybody that that ear trauma that they would endure. Just going through here, we've basically covered the whole sponsor situation, but again, part of the rebrand here, the store here, shop.areairacing.com, which is now our white flag sponsor, which you will see in some number of laps, depending on if we go into overtime. You'll see a lot of the new merch with the new area logo, brought to you by the Studio Temporary, so you can check out that and get the new selection of hats, t-shirts, Adidas clothing, and other accessories. Quick to shop, quicker to ship, better to wear. Shop.areairacing.com. And I do believe, outside of Central Mobile Homes, which was our starting sponsor, we have covered the lot here today. So hope everyone's enjoying the show. And 23 coming to 22 laps to go. I mean, it's hard to bet against anyone but that 95, but definitely some drivers behind that are hungry and capable.
Absolutely. We got the heavy hitters up front, that being Sebastian Marin and Jake Nichols going to be restarting in our front row. Peyton Howell and Philip Groner in the second row. They've been up front for a good portion of tonight's event. Same with Jake Fisher. Zach Carr is closer towards the top 5. Gabe Herschel in 7th. Josh Adams there in 8th. And then our 10th row, well, the running order changes, but Herschel, Scioli, Adams, and John Hall are inside the top 10. And then I'm looking at guys that are on the cusp of the top 10. I don't think we've mentioned at all tonight. Jared Skinner in the 99. Forrest Smith in the 15. They're inside the top 15. Kyle Taub in the 3. He was a part of that second pack that was seconds behind, but he is now restarting 15th, so he's going to be a part of this big pack again. Feel they should be good to go to the finish, but tires might be an issue for some if we get a longer stint. But for the most part, it's going to be the heavy hitters up front and then the guys with a fighting chance from the back trying to go up to the front.
Absolutely. We'll see back to front and front to back, and hopefully we don't see any further chaos, but it wouldn't be Daytona if we didn't have it. So we'll see how we finish here. Florida State Pro Builders Pro Series at Daytona. Green flag in the air. Sebastian Marin on the loud pedal. Right behind is Peyton Howell. But if anybody can traffic cop these two lanes, we know it's that 95. We'll wait for those runs to surge.
It's a great restart from the 95 of Marin. Howell getting a big enough run. He's going to go to the outside. Marin's going to block, and now that'll leave Fisher, the leader, on the bottom lane, and Gabe Herschel going to be behind, pushing that number 84. Meanwhile, Howell in the 52 giving a good bump to LVV affiliate and teammate Sebastian Marin. First 3 cars on the outside lane are clear. Fisher coming through on the bottom.
Oh, that was an aggressive top-to-bottom move there by Marin. We've seen it 100 times here today, but we haven't seen it right in front of Jake Fisher in that 84, looking aggressively to the inside here, coming through the tri-oval. Definitely intensity kicking up here, 3x3 in about the mid-20s here in this pack, but now I think Marin's going to have a little bit more on his toes here with these moves, and he couldn't knock that one down.
No, so Herschel in the 07 and Fisher in the 84 trying to work together against the juggernauts on the outside lane, that being Marin, Howell, and Jake Nichols. And there's an in-car look at Herschel, giving a good push to the 84, the 07 of Herschel, that is. And that outside lane, you can just see they have such a strong run. Marin back to the lead, trying to keep everybody at bay on the inside lane, and teammate Peyton Howell giving him a shove coming out of 4.
Yeah, Peyton Howell giving a shove, and we see the 3 wide there. Bryce Senesac in the middle, 96 car of Opplinger just kind of stalling, waiting for something to happen. I thought he was waiting for Senesac to get there, but I don't think Senesac is going to be able to. Nobody looking to work with that 09 in the middle lane, now in the mid-teens, falling to the 20s, and now David Weishart. That's not a name I would have thought to be in the middle, but here he is, only 2 Rangers meeting the sandwich.
Yeah, him and Bryce Senesac, they've been together for the most part, and they almost got together in a different way there. And there's Mercurio getting the door slam shut on him, and that checked up the entire inside lane. Slar's going to come through the middle. So we have a little bit of separation now after that little kerfuffle there, but For the most part, it's double file racing, and Jake Fisher still leading the way on the bottom, but Marin's still leading the way up front.
And I saw it as Weishart in the middle there, really struggling as further time has elapsed here. Just that middle lane, and you know, we're gaining grip here. I don't think we actually got a temperature check here on the day. I don't recall bringing up the weather graphic, but just for the sake of knowledge, 83 in the air. Pushing 7 o'clock virtual time here, so we might turn the lights on here, albeit not a night race, but the ambiance night there, a little bit more grip to play with. But Marin with that full run up top, and I don't know if the runs will be yet to come later, Hunter, but it just doesn't seem like with Marin running that outside.
Whoa.
Pause
we
that
almost had a wreck there. I don't know how they didn't wreck. Oh, they're still trying to sort it out, coming through the tri-oval. A lot
Someone's
of checking up here.
wall.
Cars are in the wall. The cars are running into each other. Someone's spinning out to the inside.
That's going to be a penalty.
It.
Travis Beckner going to have Travis Beckner going to have a penalty there because he had to cut through the dog leg. Let's try to see what happened as they all kind of had to situate through there. And then Beckner in the back here. And see, because he was to the inside of that green cone, that will give him a penalty. It was a great save, but unfortunately the sim does what the sim does.
And now, out of all that, Jake Fisher has jumped up to the lead because the outside lane got coagulated and everybody on the inside was still good. And Fisher took his opportunity, and now Marin will take it back. Going to lead that lap. Fisher thought he was going to lead a lap after all that. And now Jake Nichols is 3 wide in the middle. Payne Howell still leading the way on the outside, but once again, it seemed like the car behind Payne Howell they wanted to get up front, and they were tired of Howell just leading the way and allowing the 95 to go back up in line. So looked like Nichols tried to take it into his own hands, and it created that kerfuffle. But now Josh Adams, the 22, has shuffled up to the lead, but Marin with a strong run on the outside in the 3.
Just waiting to see a situation where Marin loses the control of a lane. We haven't seen it in about 40 laps thus far, so he has always had control. Even if he's not the leader per se, he's still in control of a lane, and nobody has been able to take that away from him. And the way that this is showing there, Hunter, I'm not sure if anybody can.
We're wrecking in the back again. It looks like we're still green for the most part. That was
Donald Knight, I believe, in the 2 car. Yes, and we did stay green from that. Watch that stack up connection, and when they respawned, and same exact incident as Beckner, saved it, but unfortunately it's going to trigger as a black flag. And admin will be clearing those penalties. They did, we did just get that clarification. Because they were a speed through exit, they were not a driver earned penalty. It was just kind of an algorithmic thing. Those drivers will not have to heed to that, but there we go. In the middle is the 73 of Jake Nichols. We do have some help finally forming in there with Scioli and Groner.
Yeah, 3 wide through the middle now with Jake Nichols being pushed by Scioli and Philip Groner there as well. The Lucky Ducks are making their way through in the middle, and this is about the most aggressive we've seen as they are once again flirting with disaster,
John
keeping
Hall
it straight.
On the outside, yeah, getting the push from Herschel there, and that push obviously went wrong. Luckily, the wall was there for Savior's sake, but there we go, 3 by 3 again, and you can just see how high that outside lane is, Hunter. Obviously, they have to run high, but they are an inch off the fence. Again, handling seems to be at the prominence here.
Absolutely, as the outside lane has been able to handle pretty well for the past few laps, despite the numerous occasions of cars losing control and not bringing out a yellow. So first 3 on the outside lane are clear. 4th is up for grabs at the moment, but it's still Sebastian Mir that everybody's chasing after.
Yeah, and as I said, he just has had full command of this race, and you've seen obviously Peyton in second the majority of the time. You've seen the 84 of Fisher. You've seen Opplinger up there, but nobody has been able to take it away. And now Jake Nichols in command of the middle lane, because now, again, we're top feeding now. Nobody's running the bottom. And this is akin, again, to what you'd see about maybe 2009, 10, 11, 12. Everyone's ripping the fence. and nobody wants to peel down, and it makes making that inside lane so much harder.
Yeah, on board with Jake Nichols here in the 73, trying to get as much ground as he can on the bottom to move up, but that outside lane is just too packed and it's too fast at the moment. Jake Fisher in the 84 right now, second in line. He finds himself in the middle of a LVV racing sandwich, if you will. Him, part of Coast to Coast Racing, the other cars being Marin, Howell, and Opplinger, part of LVV Racing. So they're catching up on lap traffic as well, and Nichols still trying to find his way towards the lead with just his teammates on the bottom. Everybody else has jumped up to the outside lane, and those on the inside lane in the back, they're just too far back to make up enough ground.
We do have Timmy Pacioli again going a lap down. Wasn't able to get any hood put back on that car by the last repair, so he's just chugging along for attrition and points and doing what he can. 7 laps in arrears. We do have 21 drivers in this lead draft. We again have lost the second pack as well. That's Brad Slaughter. He is about 1.6 seconds off with that 5-car pack there. So 5 or 6 car pack. They will need some help. They will not get there on their own as we come now to 12 laps to go, about 10 minutes left of racing. Sebastian Marin been up front for the majority of the race. What is that number? That number is 51, over half of this race. That's very hard to do at a drafting style track, Hunter, lead over half of the laps.
Well, if there's one person that can do it, it's definitely the one that's the highest up on the Road to Pro standings, that being Sebastian Marin, and he has really mastered this this style of racing, and it reminded me of like 2014, 2015, whenever Dale Jr. had his resurgence and dominance at this place. As soon as I say that, Nichols is to the inside, but the way that he was able to control both lines and control the momentum for both lanes, and just it reminded me a lot of that. And Jake Nichols is trying to retake control of this race with the teammates of Lucky Ducks behind him, that being Scioli and Groner. But Justin Bolton in the 41, we've seen him up front recently, has kept it clean for the most part, and very consistent finisher last season. So we'll see if he can provide a good finish for himself and his team coming down the backstretch here with 11 to go from Daytona.
11 to go here at Daytona. You saw Nichols get there to the inside, pull door to door, and then that's where the stall out happened. Marin can't clear this time by, and I'll say there's more help to the inside than there is to the outside. Washing up just a little bit is the 73, but not enough to take the lane away. Here comes the surge from the 84 of Fisher. Here comes the push, but even as discombobulated and separated as that outside lane is, Hunter, the momentum still is there over the inside.
Yeah, they had a big check up there about the 5th car back on the bottom. I'm not sure what that was, but behind Bryce Senesac, they stacked up for some reason. Not sure why, but create a little kerfuffle there on the inside lane, and now more cars are bunched up on the outside lane. But Jake Nichols, again, he's given it all that he's got. Him and his Lucky Duck teammates, they're trying, but that outside lane, it's just too powerful at the moment, and Marin jumps down to block Nichols. And Nichols, he's not having it. He's coming back on that bottom, and he wants that lead.
Again, this is a fixed setup series, mind you, so the fact that he can do all of this with the same exact car as everybody else, same car, same opportunity, only thing that's different is the guy in the seat and knowing this aero model, knowing this drafting package, and just knowing what he does here on the service, that he can just completely take ownership of this race, even with Jake Nichols and some of these big top guys right behind him on his toes.
Yeah, Marin doing a masterful job of controlling that lane, but I have to wonder what Jake Fisher does in the 84. He's not affiliated with any of these cars on the outside lane, nor is he affiliated with anyone on the inside lane, but at the same time, you want to go for the win. You don't want to just run second, and well, the points do matter, but when you're this close to the win, you might as well go for it. So we'll see what the 84 does. I'm curious as to what that will be, or if we get a yellow in between now and then, but for the moment, it's 8 laps to go. It's Marin on the outside, Nichols on the inside. The heavy hitters are up front.
Oh, that
was most. And we're checking up behind. Almost had a wreck. I think that was the 04 of
DJ
Stagner. I could be wrong, but he's quietly made his way back into this main pack here, and he's putting himself in a good position for a good finish.
Someone looked in the middle there. That was the 97 for a brief moment, but pulls back in line. That 97 is that car. But I'm telling you where I think the move is going to be. Well, oh, okay, this is big. Okay, the 73 has cleared, but the only thing that is not cleared is that Sebastian Marin is still a line leader. We have not seen him lose that yet, and Nichols not making the move to go to the top, so that was a very short-lived lapse of a lead for Marin.
Yeah, Nichols staying put on the bottom there, trying to keep his teammates in the running. But it gives the 95 of Marin the advantage once more on the outside lane. Fisher, once again, giving him the shove from behind with Howell and, I would say Opplinger, but I think John Hall is up there now, so not sure how that happened.
Whoa.
We had a car nearing the wall there, more checkup going on, and the inside lane is going to have a big run down into turn 3, and Skyly almost steering clear of the 95 of Marin.
Now that would be huge, and what I think is going to be the magic ticket for that 84 is if Sebastian can get back to the lead, every time he does his lane shift, that's where he loses momentum, and I think it's going to be a matter of timing the run, and we may see it here. Nope, he's not going to be able to clear. But when the leader makes that lane shift down to the bottom, back to the top, he loses momentum. That allows for a run. And Jake Fisher, every single time, has not used that run, and it's only a matter of time before, well, you got to use it.
Absolutely, as we are closing in towards the end of this one, coming up on 5 laps to go. Marin on the outside, Nichols back on the bottom once more. It's really just a side-by-side duel. I mean, no one's trying to opt to go 3 wide yet. Brad Slar's back there, but he's content with running on the outside lane for the moment.
Or is he? He was. He looked up there again. There's no one biting. This kind of looks like an old next-gen race. We're just 2x2 gridlocked, and again, you got Marin going to the bottom. And now, again, this is what I was predicting, and I want to see if it comes to fruition here. This is Jake Nichols. Now goes up to the top. Back for Marin. Oh, Jake Fisher went to the middle. And again, nothing there. That might have been his chance, and now it cost him. And right in front of Adams, put Adams, I think, into the wall by a grace.
That checked up the outside lane. They're going to be stacked up, as you can see back there. So big time for the inside lane to get some big pushes, and Jake Nichols taking advantage of it. Skyly giving him the shove. Marin trying to side drive to keep himself in front. 4 laps to go from Daytona. Jake Nichols now leading the way. Now,
is Nichols going to go up top and take the run from Marin? Marin has done it to everyone this entire race, but 73 playing a different ball game here and staying to the bottom, giving Marin the chance to build the run with Howell to the outside. Is that the move to make? I mean, your guess is as good as mine, but that's what's happening.
Well, he's staying committed to the bottom for his teammates and looking at the team championship side of things already from season 1, because the Lucky Duck cars, they're still pretty glued together there on the bottom lane. And it's still door-to-door. Some 3-wide action now in the back. Slaughter leading the way in the middle. Cars swerving in and out back there, but we're coming across the stripe. 3 laps remaining from Daytona.
As I say every single broadcast, if we make it to the white, we will unconditionally race to the checkers under green flag conditions, as we saw on Monday when that race was won by Van Drugman when 30 cars behind crashed and he was the Lone Ranger. Doesn't matter what happens on the white, but we have to get there first. We do have 3 overtimes in the bank if necessary. Howell back to the top with the push to Marin. So Scioli and Nichols to the bottom. Here comes the lane change down to the inside. Here's the chance for John Hall to give Peyton a good surge and maybe try to force Marin into a difficult block.
He's trying. It's been tough to get around that 52, and I don't know if Peyton Howell's going to go for the win. He might just stay behind his teammate and give him the shove that he needs to win, but if you got the opportunity, you might as well use it. Coming up on the white flag lap, actually, this time by 2 more laps left from Daytona. It's been all Sebastian Marin, Jake Nichols, and Peyton Howell, second and third, looking for an opportunity.
waiting to see where's the 3 wide going to come. Is it going to come at all? I imagine it will, but now the 73, I mean, the inside stalls out. It can't stall out now because it's not going to have time to resurge, and Marin can't take the block all the way to the inside. Nichols has enough of a surge. Here we come off a 3 into 4. Hunter about to take the white.
About dead even coming off turn 4. Marin leading the way on the outside lane. Nichols on the inside. We're going to make it. We're going to have a finish here at Daytona. White flag from Daytona International Speedway. Season 8 opener from the Area Pro Series at Daytona. It's been all Sebastian Marin. Nichols coming through on the bottom. He's got the run blocked by the 95. Payne Howell's been shoving the 50, or Payne Howell in the 52's been shoving Marin in the 95. It's got half a lap to get him to the win.
Now 52 with the push from John Hall, and Scioli a little bit further back from Nichols than he wants to be. The 41 of Bolton all the way down to the flat manages to recover, and a push from the 52 gets Marin loose. Marin down to the bottom, Howell to the top, but doesn't have any help, and I don't see it coming in time. He has control of the race. He's led over half of it. Just has to lead a little bit more. Sebastian Marin in the 95 will get the Florida State Builders season opener at Daytona.
And behind them, a huge wreck in turn 3 on the last lap. A number of drivers involved. Couldn't tell you who was in it. Well, it looked like Brad Slaughter there was a part of it. Bryce Senesac in the 09 as well. Guys trying to make it to the finish. We'll take a replay and see how that all unfolded.
Let's just quickly see here. From the blimp, you could see some connectivity issues, and essentially when that driver came back to be in existence, it just more or less startled the field, and see some heavy hits there. 04 of DJ, and obviously Senesac there, 3 car. So that's what happens there. But Sebastian Marin, I mean, it's very seldom here in the sim racing world, Hunter, that you say at a drafting track, I think that's the new terminology for it, that you got a, dare I say, an ass whooping. It's very strange to say that at a track like this, but that's what these guys had handed to them today.
Well, yeah, you led 60 of the 100 laps here, or actually 60 of the 95 laps, I should say, but that 95 car was the one to beat, and no one could do it. Thought that there was an opportunity there at the very end when Peyton Howell was up on the outside lane, but it just was not enough. So LVV Racing gets their first win of the season, the opener at Daytona, with Sebastian Marin doing burnouts here on the front stretch.
Yep, and let's give you the final rundown of results here from the Daytona International. Sebastian Marin with the win, final margin 6/100ths over Jake Nichols. Peyton Howell with a 3rd, James Scioli in 4th, Philip Groner in 5th. Jake Fisher, again, just never had the opportunity, was there all race for 6th. Hall, Adams, Bolton, and Opplinger rounding out our top 10.
Just outside of the top 10, Gabe Herschel, Brian Mercurio, AJ Stravado, Ben Pierce, Drew Farniars, and the rest on back were coming through the crash. Lucas Lodato, Zach Carr, Casey Lacatos, Skylar Shackelford, and Brad Slaughter round out the top 20.
And we'll just round things through here. 21st on back. You see Travis Beckner matching his car number, but that's not what he wanted there in 27th. Alan Elwood was up front earlier. Weishart was all through and out throughout the day. And then Connor Horn there, Eric Conrath, Timmy Pacioli, he struggled, but he did everything he could do. And then obviously not a good result for Jeremy Miller trying to get the double duty win here, trucks and Xfinity. I'm sorry, O'Reilly. It's the first time I've screwed up all race. But assuming we have all these drivers queued up here in the media center, we can head down trackside for our interviews. We're just scrolling through. We don't have a full lineup here yet in the waiting room. We do have 2nd place, so while we wait for our winner to queue on in here, I think we can have a word with Jake Nichols. All right, Jake, Corey up top, you got us? Jake, Corey, and Hunter up top, you got us?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, very seldom do we ever say at a plate track that you guys got your ass handed, but 60 laps by Sebastian. He just led the lanes, led charge. He just could not really be sustained up there. What was that man doing that just made this race so difficult to get by him?
Oh, he just had the lead. I mean, you can't really do much on the bottom. We cleared 3 times, but when you have a train of teammates, it's really impossible. So if I go up top, any of those times I cleared them, they just all leave me, and that's it. I have no chance to win. So I just stuck with teammates and hoped that it worked out. And we almost cleared them. If we cleared the second car on the top, ended up being the first on the top out of turn 4, I think we had a shot. But outside of that, you kind of just get gridlocked, and you can't really do much of anything. The side draft is so good for the top lane that you can just pull us back with ease. And the bump drafts don't really transfer a lot of momentum like you would think they would. So it kind of made that even harder for us, because once we had our momentum killed, it was just so hard to get it back. But either way, it was a great night for the team. I think we'll be leading the team points since Sebastian is an open car. But obviously we wanted to win, but we'll still take a top 3 at the end of the day and get some great points.
Absolutely. And of course, Daytona week is fun for some. It's just dreadful for all, as obviously so much of it is out of your control. But next week we have the trifecta of area series heading down, staying in the state of Florida, heading to Homestead, Miami, which many will call the real start to the season. What's the team's confidence level and your own personal confidence level heading to Miami next week?
Pretty high. I think the aftermarket coffee Chevrolet is going to be really quick, and I expect to be in the battle for the win, especially Homestead. I love that track, and I think we ran pretty good there last season. I don't remember where we finished in all 3 races, but hopefully we can come out on top and at least just bring some momentum from here. We didn't win, but we had myself and James Scioli got 4th, Philip Groner 5th. So we had 3 of our team in the top 5, which is pretty good. So we'll take that momentum and bring it forward and try to get some wins for Lucky Ducks here.
Absolutely, man. Any final words or shout-outs before we let you go?
Yeah, Aftermarket Coffee, No Kid Hungry, Stand Up to Cancer, Coddle Chassis, Tiltify, AmeriCares. We got a bunch of great organizations on board, and it's going to be fun representing them in this Lucky Ducks Motorsports Chevy, and hopefully we can get some wins, and this thing looks like a beaut, and it'll look even better in Victory Lane next time.
Absolutely. Good spec map on it. It's a good spec map on it. Looks pretty good here under the sunset, but yeah, we'll see you next week in Miami, Jake.
Thank you. See you then.
And now again, we still don't have our race winner, but Hunter has caught up with Peyton Howell, who gave it a good shot.
Yeah, Peyton Howell, one of the dominant drivers of the night. Big helping hand into Sebastian Marin, keeping him in front on that outside lane. Was that kind of the thought process tonight? We saw that you and Opplinger as well for LVV Racing were a 3-car tandem at one point on the outside lane. Was the thought process just to get one of the drivers in, even if that was Sebastian Marin?
Yes, for sure. That race was a lot of fun for, I guess, all the LVV guys, because we controlled most of it. But it was just try to keep one of us up front and have a shot at the win. And we ended up having like 4 of us lined up on the top there at the end. And was hoping we'd get a 1, 2, 3, 4, but a 1, 3, and whatever it was, we'll take it. It was just, I had a bunch of right front damage, so I had to stay up top to not go backwards. And it was just like you just gotta kind of hope that the bottom line doesn't get clear, and I feel like we did that pretty well tonight.
Yeah, there were a couple of moments where Jake Nichols and Brad Slaughter, they tried to go around you on the outside lane, but you made it tough for them, and it created a little bit of carnage behind. Take us through your thought process on racing on the Super Speedways. I know you mentioned that you had some damage on the right front, but it seemed like you blocked that outside lane like your life depended on it, not letting anyone go by.
Yeah, I don't want to get my rear taken. I'm not going to the back for getting my rear taken, so I was willing to block, and the one on Brad was kind of questionable, but I was clear enough to get clear and not destroy us too bad. And I wasn't going to let nobody take my right rear, because I wasn't going backwards, especially with the damage. I'd have never got back forward, so it's just wild, this plate racing. I'm glad because if you can't get in control, it's just really hard to go forward, as you saw tonight. And I'm glad that we could get in control and pretty much dominate the whole race.
He's won in the Cup, he's won in the trucks, he's still looking for a win in the Pro Series, but he'll have a podium to start Season 8. Pay now, congrats on the podium. We'll see you later.
Yes, sir. Real quick, can I thank Timothy with LVV for letting me join? I didn't have a ride until he messaged me, and so I really appreciate him letting me join for the season. I got to thank Wyatt for sponsoring with WD Racing and Snowman Studios. You can check both of those out on Instagram. Icon Apparel, Unrivaled Innovations, y'all for putting on a broadcast, Jacob for putting on this league. I'm so glad we're back.
All right. Well, have a good night, and we'll see you next week at Homestead, Miami.
Sir.
All right, as we scroll through here, it looks as though we still do not have our race winner. So obviously the party is strong there in Sebastian Marin's world, and he drove the race of races here at Daytona. Let's just give our final recap of information because we didn't really go over it. 31 lead changes with only 4 cautions here on the day, shy of about the 60 that we had on Monday, but still a fabulous race there overall, Hunter. Oh wait, he's here. Here's the man. There he is. Right as we're calling off sunset on the broadcast, and we finally have our winner here. Glad to have you. Have your word in, Sebastian. You led 60 laps. You had that car on rails as much as you can at Daytona, leading lanes, changing lanes, and you put it in victory circle, man. How's it feel?
Oh, it feels really good. Obviously, stayed out front. That was going to be the plan, run out front. Had a teammate. We were working together to try and keep everyone organized. Kind of was expecting a bit more aggressiveness, a bit more chaos in the end, but everyone was just playing follow the leader, and that's how it was till the end. So, great result. Happy to bring the Juicy Spider Eminence-inspired Toyota to victory lane. And shout out to Peyton Howell for being a great teammate that whole race. We pretty much controlled that race from start to finish, so couldn't have asked for a better race.
Yeah, absolutely. Just kind of talk about some of the moves you had to do. I know with Jake on the bottom there at the end, you just had good command of each lane. You just knew the timing. You knew when to make the blocks. But we know how the blocks have been this week in area. Some good, some bad. Were there any ones that you kind of felt risky on, or were you willing to do it for the win?
I think there at the end, I wasn't going to do any crazy blocks, just knowing that I had several teammates around me. We were in good spots. There were several close calls throughout the race, but not with the blocks themselves, more with the cars being super edgy with the new aero model. If you decide to make an aggressive move while someone's on your bumper, it'll get you aero loose, so you'll have to anticipate it. And I think if you played close attention, you saw it multiple times on corner entry where people would lift to try and get temps, and that would put all the weight on the front tires and they get really loose. So it was very sketchy. I thought taking 2 tires was going to be a very bad mistake because I thought handling would come into play, but I think the track was just hooked enough up to where it didn't seem to matter. But just another good race. And I'm here part-time, so I'm here for the good time, not the long time.
Absolutely. Well, that being said, next week Area takes the trip into South Florida, near your neck of the woods there in Miami, Homestead Speedway. Are we going to see you there?
I adore Homestead, so yes, I will try my best to make that race. I love that track way too much to miss it, so that is the plan, yes.
All right, man. Well, congrats on the win here today, and we'll see what you can do in Miami next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Have a good night.
And I will try to avoid all the Will Smith jokes that most everyone will do with Miami, because that was a good song back in the late 90s. But Hunter, I don't know if I got your final take, because we obviously got that last second interview, but what's your final take on tonight?
Phenomenal racing, a masterclass from Sebastian Marin. We'll probably see that more than once throughout the season, just him dominating a race. But when it mattered most, he was up front. He kept it clean, and him, Jake Nichols, Payne Howell, the cream always rises to the top. So it was hard to dethrone those guys as far as podium is concerned, let alone for the win. The first was presumed to be many this season for Sebastian Marin. I know he's got Road to Pro more at the top of his mind, but anytime he's out here in the Pro Series, he's always a contender, doesn't matter where we go.
Absolutely. So we'll stay tuned for that. Again, like, share, comment, subscribe here on PTR TV. Help us get to 2,000 subscribers. We're ever so inching there, and we'd love to get there a little faster. We'll be live next on Sunday with our Triple Bypass Cup Series. And then a week of Area starts back off next week at Miami. and we'll be there Monday, me and the whole gang of guys here at PTR TV. And if you're liking on Twitch, again, consider subscribing to the Area iRacing Twitch, get your custom emotes, double points, and redeem your free merch. But that's going to be Corey and Hunter signing out of the booth. Have a great night, and we'll catch you next time.